Today, we're diving deep into ancient history, going back almost 4,000 years to Mesopotamia. We're going to look at one of the most important legal documents ever made, Hammurabi's Code. Seriously, let's find out why carving a bunch of laws into a big piece of stone literally changed the world.
No, really, think about it. You're playing a game, you're about to win, and then bam, the person in charge just makes up a new rule and suddenly you lose. How would that feel? Super frustrating, right? Totally unfair. Well, for a huge chunk of human history, that's pretty much what the law was like.
You see, before Hammurabi came along, justice was, well, it was a mess. It was all based on rules that nobody ever wrote down. Everything depended on what people could remember and, what the most powerful person in the room wanted to remember.
And this chart right here, it just lays it all out perfectly. With unwritten rules, it's all based on memory, which we all know can be pretty shaky. A powerful king or judge could just say, "Oh, the rule has always been this," and who's going to argue? It was inconsistent. It always seemed to favor the rich and powerful, and there was absolutely no permanent record to keep anyone honest.
But then, things started to change. Around 1800 BC, a new powerhouse emerged in Mesopotamia, led by a king who had a truly revolutionary idea.
So this was Hammurabi's world. Look at this map. His kingdom of Babylonia just exploded, taking over this huge, diverse area. Now, trying to manage an empire this big, with all these different people and traditions, that takes more than just a strong army. It needs organization. It needs a single, clear way to run things.
So who was this guy, Hammurabi? Well, he wasn't just some conqueror. Yeah, he was a brilliant general who took over his rivals, but he was also a builder, an administrator. He got it. He knew that to really unite this massive kingdom, he couldn't have 100 different sets of rules. He needed one system for everybody.
And that brings us to his incredible solution. A solution that was brilliant because it was so simple and so permanent. Now, he didn't just lock himself in a room and make up a bunch of new laws. Not at all. He had his people go out and study all the different laws and customs from all the cities he'd conquered. His goal was to find the best ones, the fairest ones, and then collect them all into one single official written code for the entire empire. And this is it. This amazing stone monument, it's called a stele, is where those laws were carved, put right in the middle of the city for everyone to see. And look at the top there. That's Hammurabi on the left, and he's shown getting the laws straight from a god. Talk about a power move. The message was crystal clear. These aren't just my laws, folks. These come from the heavens. And man, was it detailed. We're talking about nearly 300 laws carved into this thing. It covered everything: family matters, property, business deals. For instance, there was a law that said if a builder built a house that fell down and killed the owner, the builder would be put to death. It was a rule book for pretty much every part of life in Babylon. So you get it, right? Writing these laws down wasn't just some small tweak. It completely changed the game. It changed the entire relationship between the people and the government. I'm sure you've heard this phrase before. It's the most famous idea from the whole code, and it really represents this huge leap forward in how people thought about justice. So the idea here was that the punishment should fit the crime. Simple enough. But, and this is a big but, it wasn't a perfect system, at least not by today's standards. Your punishment depended on your social class. If you poked out the eye of a nobleman, you could lose your own eye. But if you did the same thing to a commoner, you might just have to pay a fine. So it was a step towards fairness, for sure, but it definitely wasn't equality as we know it. But let's break down the real power of writing stuff down. 1. The laws were public knowledge. No more secrets. 2. The rules were stable. The king couldn't just change things on a whim. 3. This empowered regular people. If you got accused of something, you could literally point to the stone and say, "Hey, that's not what the law says." And finally, it made the whole government stronger and more reliable because every official had the same rule book. Hammurabi's time on the throne was known as the Golden Age of Babylon, but the influence of his code, well, that was going to last a lot longer.
Hammurabi ruled for about 40 years, a pretty good run. And after he died, around 1750 BC, Babylon's power did start to fade away. But the idea he put out into the world, that laws should be written down for everyone to see, that idea was here to stay.
Just think about it for a second. The Constitution, the laws in your city, even the signs that tell you how fast to drive. Every single one of them is a direct descendant of that powerful idea from almost 4,000 years ago, that justice shouldn't be a secret, it should be carved in stone. And that brings us to our final question. We've seen how Hammurabi's code brought order, but also how it wasn't perfectly fair for everyone, so it makes you wonder, how exactly do written laws push a civilization toward being more fair? It's something to think about. Thanks for joining me.